Hello and welcome to Choreographer Talk. My name is Jane D'Angelo. I'm the executive director of OhioDance and producer of the OhioDance Festival. Today, our guest choreographer is Talise Campbell. Talise is a dancer, choreographer, director, and educator who strives to connect audiences to the beauty of diasporic music, history, art, and folklore. Talise creates multidisciplinary and socially engaging dance for theater, screen, stage, and the public space. Her work is continuously focused around research, musicality, authenticity, and the African American experience. She is the executive founding artistic director and choreography of Japo Cultural Arts Institute. Talise's choreography, Sandia, will be performed at the OhioDance Festival Saturday, April 26th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. The concert is held at the Ohio State University Department of Dance, Sullivant Hall. I will put the location and the link in the chat. And now I'll turn it over to Talise to let us know more about the piece. Thank you, Talise, for joining us today.
Not a problem. I am super, super excited. One, I am an Ohioan. I'm in Cleveland, but we can't wait to come to Columbus. Sandia was actually created last year. It's one of our new works. It came out of an experience from one of our international travel experiences in Bamako, in Mali, West Africa, where we would go to an event, which is in Sandia, where different people would come and they would come dressed up in different garbs. The different families would wear different colors. And it was so beautiful and so inspiring that I wanted to recreate that experience right here in Cleveland, Ohio. So it was premiered at Cleveland Public Theater prior to that. We also took it to Muntu Dance Theater in Chicago. And so now we're going to be also premiering it as well at OhioDance Festival. So it's a wonderful celebratory piece talking about the jelly, because that's what the Sandia is all about. It's about the jelly, which is a caste system which preserves culture. So they talk about your family, your family's history. And my saying is, if you want to learn about people or any type of people or culture, you have to dive into the art. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be recreating this wonderful experience of the jelly, talking about history, through dance, through song, and through movement. So you all are in for a wonderful, wonderful treat, and I'm really excited about it.
Yes, absolutely. The piece sounds amazing. I know the energy will be contagious and the audience is going to love it. You also have many musicians with many dancers. So to have live music is always amazing. We're very excited about that. And I realize I did pronounce the name wrong. Sanjay, is that
Sandia,
correct?
Sandia,
Sanja. Sanja.
Sandia,
Okay.
Sandia, or Sandia.
Okay. Wonderful. And so to learn something about the culture, and you said it was Mali, in Mali?
Definitely in Mali, specifically in Bamako. However, the jelly is represented all across Africa, specifically in West Africa. We talk about these caste systems, the people that harvest, the Seneca, the Numu, which are the iron workers. And then we also talk about the jelly. And those are, we say, the most important people, because we talk about pre-colonialism, pre-borders, when people didn't have cell phones. Right? We didn't have cell phones to record history, and, it wasn't easy access as it is today. So how did, culture get preserved from generation to generation? That's how these caste systems were so important, especially the jelly, being very important because they're the preservers of culture. And in order for you to become jelly, you have to be born into it. So you have to be of the blood. And how does that happen? So it all is determined by your last name. There's specific names, last names that coincides with jelly, so it's a real powerful caste system. So we're really excited to showcase that.
And were you able to videotape while you were there?
Oh yes. So we have all of the Sandia events recorded. It was such a magical experience, a life-altering one, to be quite frank, for everyone that was in attendance from the USA and even the participants who were there. It's a wonderful thing. Usually people get together on Sundays and they have the Sandia events. And the griots would come out, people give them money, you know, if a griot is singing the praises of your family and of your family's history, talking about your great 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 grandmother or grandfather, people give money. Sometimes they can be even more exuberant and give cars and houses. All of those things are given at these Sanjai events. So there's different levels to these events, but it's really magical. And our hopes and our goals here at Jabo is to always preserve culture. And how do we do that? We can extract some of these stories and put them on the theatrical stage, and rework them so that people can understand culture. They can understand Jelly and this caste system through art, through music, and through dance.
Great. Yeah, that's really wonderful for people who aren't able to travel to Maui. They'll be able to watch and find out from your performance. So that's very exciting.
Yes, exactly. And then we saw that we were like the first number up. I was like, oh, you guys are really in for a treat.
Yeah. It's a great way to start the show for
Yes,
sure.
most definitely.
So, I mean, you have talked about this, but what impact do you hope your work has on audiences and dancers?
Most definitely. I tell my dancers always that we have a responsibility as artists and artisans to make people feel something, right? And to make an actionable step. How about preserving our own cultures, within our own families? How can we begin to do that? Right? We have the caste system that is in Bamako, but what do we have right here in our backyards? What can we do artistically to preserve the culture within our own households? So it's really a call to action as well. So yes, it's entertainment, edutainment, whatever you would like to call it, but we can also call it a call to action and a movement to get individuals to think about their own households, so that our stories are always, preserved in our own families in whatever way that could be.
Absolutely. And do you write these stories down?
No, I don't write
Oh,
anything down at all. I do,
yeah.
of course, nowadays we have, these devices. So I do record a lot. I do, interview within my research. I interview a lot of people that are in these different countries, a lot of them. So I do a lot of that, but I don't write a lot down. I really try to recreate my experiences the same way they're done within culture. And that's like being in the space, being in the moment, right? So I deal with
Oh,
bodies, you know, when my company members are coming to rehearsal, I can't do anything without them. So it's me looking at their bodies and looking at space and then being able to reenact all of those experiences that I saw. So it's really visual for me, but it's not me with a hand, paper and pencil. Nope, it's never that. But I could always go back just to recollect, through my recordings and be talking to people and trying to extract the emotional content, right? Because we can put works on people, yeah, step right, step left, but how can I recreate a feeling? How can that be recreated? So it's about connection and being able to connect with dancers. And first, before we even get into choreography, being able to connect with an emotion, right?
that's
So that that's displayed on stage and the audience can feel that emotion as well, because this is a joyful piece.
yeah,
It's one of joy, but there's other
yes.
pieces as well, but we want to make audiences feel that joy and make sure that that's conveyed in the
Yeah.
proper way.
Yeah, we really thank you for showing this piece to us and expressing this through your piece, this work through your piece. So it's all through the art and through the love of dance and music. So it's very exciting.
Thank
And we're
you.
really happy to have you and look forward to seeing you at the festival, your class, your performance. It will be great. So I will share the link for people and thank you for sharing your time with us and talking to us about the piece, and we look forward to it.